Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day so far. Today is October 23rd, and I can't believe we're saying this already, but we're nearing winter, my favorite season, so it's right about time to have a winter outlook for the winter of 2023 into 2024. Things have been changing recently, but even with that being said, I believe I have a great understanding of what will happen this year. On your screen here right now, it's ocean anomalies right here. And if we take a look off the South American coast here, you can see in red we have warmer than average temperatures water wise. That is an El Nino. An El Nino, once again, is when you have warmer waters off the coast of South America, and this greatly impacts America's winter. Not even just America, the whole world as a whole. And if we take a look into the Gulf of Alaska here, we can see we have a mixed bag of ocean temperatures stretching from possibly all the way up into a degree below average water-wise, all the way up to a degree and a half water-wise as well. If we take a look into right in this region, right off the southeast coast of Canada, you can see we are mostly above average. Now this has great impacts for our winter, and I'll explain everything to you throughout this. The first major winter weather tool that we like to use is called the PNA. This, whether it's positive or negative, definitely affects the whole country here. You can see if it's positive, you have a very big ridge off the western coast that stretches all the way up into the western parts of Canada, even into Alaska if it's very strong, and forces tons of cold air down into the central and eastern part of the US. Now, if it's negative, you have a trough setting up in the western part of America, Canada, and parts of Alaska. Pretty much the complete opposite of a positive PNA. You would have warmer conditions in the eastern side of the US this time. Another tool I love to use is called the EPO. This, once again, correlates with the PNA a little bit, but this is a ridge sitting in Alaska that also forces cold air down into the central and eastern part of the US. This is when we have our big time storms usually, when we have a nice EPO, negative EPO, and a positive PNA for the eastern part of the US. Even the central part of the US, this affects as well. And once again, if it's positive, you have a trough out in the west and then a ridge out in the Great Plains or eastern seaboard. Now, finally, the most important one, in my personal opinion, is the PDO. As you can see, it's been negative all the way since last winter, and we all know how last winter went. Barely any snow. Yes, we've had a cold air, but there was barely any snow, at least in my area, the Northeast. Notice how recently, late September, early October, it was extremely negative. Everyone thought it was going to be negative throughout the winter. This would allow warm, warmer conditions, I should say, in the eastern part of the West and allow more troughing out in the West. But notice in the recent days, it has quickly spiked towards the neutral and possibly even into the positive range. Now, let me show you what it looks like with the PDOs. Normally, when you have a negative PDO, you have a La Nina. But this year, like I said, we have an El Nino. So you'll have warmer temperatures, ocean temperatures along the coast, and cooler ocean temperatures in the ocean. And notice down here, once again, you have warmer temperatures off the coast of South America. And once again, with the La Nina, you have cooler temperatures along the western coast. And once again, also cooler conditions off South America. Now, if we go down to our temperature anomaly, ocean temperatures anomaly right here on tropical tidbits, you can see we do have warmer conditions, at least along the coast as of now. But if we want to go to the 7-day trend for the oceans, you can see it actually is getting warmer as we speak, and it's getting cooler in the ocean. So we are heading towards a positive PDO, which is great news if you're a snow lover. Finally, this is my final winter outlook. I could make a little bit of changes at the end of, let's say, mid-November, maybe a little bit of end toward November if anything changes as of right now, but this is what I think. In the purple, which is in the Great Lakes, Midwest, and Northeast region, 1 to 2 degrees below average, and into the blue here that stretches all the way from Montana all the way back up into Maine, a half a degree to a degree below average temps. Now, if you go into the west coast here in the yellow, you have a half a degree to a degree above average. And in the, let's say, orangish color here down on the western coast of California, a degree or two above average. Why do I think the West Coast will be above average? I think majority of the time we'll have a positive PNA, once again a positive EPO, excuse me, a positive PDO, and a negative EPO. I believe with an El Nino year we will have a lot more ridging out west. Speaking of El Nino, you will have an active subtropical jet. This brings all the moisture into the US pretty much. Especially with an El Nino year, this becomes a lot more active. Last year we had a La Nina, so the subtropical jet was not as active. In our El Nino years, since our subtropical jet is so active, we love to have a more I should say more frequent nor'easter storms try and form. So of course, that brings the question, will this area of the US in the Northeast have a lot of snow this year? Or what about this area? Will this area have a lot of snow? Because that's also right where the precipitation and cold air will fight and create storms. Obviously, I can't tell you the exact amount of snow you'll have because the area in Illinois could have a lot of snow. A place in Kansas could have a lot of snow, and I could say the same for this area in Maine or Pennsylvania. I can't tell you once again your exact snowfall totals, but I can give you an area where I think will probably have the best chance of seeing a lot of snow, and it's definitely one this region, and definitely anywhere in this region as well, the Great Plains. Definitely one of these areas will have a very good winter this year. I hope you all had a great day, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please feel free to send some messages. I'll be happy enough to answer all your questions about this video, and I hope you all have a